Kevalam, Baba Nam Kevalam, Baba Nam Kevalam.
Namaskar, everybody. Welcome. I hope you're feeling good today, enjoying life, and looking forward to today's session, which is focusing on ritual. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we looked at the principle of pratyahara, which is the ability to turn the mind towards something, to shift the mind from one focus to another focus. So in a spiritual sense, to turn the mind towards infinite consciousness or soul. And one way we can do that is through the practice of a ritual. So today we'll do a ritual along with the meditation. Ritual is used a lot in general society. I mean, it's something we human beings have been doing ever since the beginning. When we come together for a ritual, it's like a shared social and cultural experience. So, for example, we'll have a baby naming ceremony, or maybe a baby shower, all kinds of rituals around marriage. So in this way, we celebrate together a beautiful aspect of being social beings and of having very sweet cultural expressions together. We use rituals to also bring meaning to life. Life can get very mundane, very repetitive, very mechanical. And when we use a ritual, we can deepen or sweeten the experience of living. For example, when we bless food before we eat, we recognize the magic of creation to bring this nutritious food onto our plate. So we celebrate and honor the universe for providing us with such sustenance. And often what happens, when we pause to bless the food, when we do finally get to eat it, it tastes better. We enjoy the experience of eating more by pausing and feeling reverence for the planet upon which we live and all it provides. Often in life, we feel out of control. And this happens in particular with death, obviously. It's one thing we have no control over is how and when we die. But it can be very disturbing when a loved one passes away. One feels that, one can feel, well, why has this happened to me right now? And there's kind of a loss of agency over life. And people then develop all kinds of rituals in order to gain more control, to gain more agency. I was reading the other day about a woman whose husband passed away, and every week she would clean his car just as he would clean the car. She never used the car, but simply by cleaning his car, it helped her process the grief around losing a loved one. It gave her more control over the situation. She was doing something to honor his life. And this is very important for us human beings. In a universe where there is so much that's unknown, there's so much mystery, there's so much over which we simply have no control, that it's important to feel we do have some control. And this then is ritual. It gives us a sense of agency. It gives us a sense of constructing a way to manage our lives effectively. And in our day-to-day world, we also use ritual in order to become prepared for something, or maybe more focused on a task. For example, sports people, they do their various rituals before the game to get in the zone, so to speak, or before people go on stage, before a concert, or maybe a theatrical performance. They have their own particular rituals that they do. I was reading about one choreographer whose ritual was simply taking a taxi to the place of the dance. She made that taxi journey into a ritual to prepare herself for her dancer's performance. So just from all of these examples, we can see how crucially important ritual is in our day-to-day lives. Now let's come to Tantra. So the path that I'm on is a path of Tantra yoga, and the teachings are from that particular path. So Tantra is an extremely ritualistic path, using mantras and dances and mudras, different arm and hand movements, to create a sense of connection to that which is greater than ourselves. So for Tantra, a really important benefit of ritual is to carve out a sacred space in the social narrative. So here we are, we're journeying from point A to point B in life, and we want to try to create a sacredness within that narrative. And that's what ritual does. It gives us the opportunity to pause and to download, if you will, a higher consciousness into the daily act of living. So we are seeking a deeper truth. So we want to bring that deeper truth into life. And so the ritual we're going to do in just a few minutes is related to this. What's also important from the tantric perspective is to use ritual to bring joy to life. Life should be a joyful experience. It should be a happy experience. It should be a meaningful experience. It should be a celebration. Imagine we're on, as far as we know, the most perfect planet in the universe. As far as we know, we have the most suitable body for expressing life spiritually, intelligently, emotionally, empathetically. what is there not to celebrate? Being in a human body on planet Earth, it's an incredibly privileged place to be. And so then the ritual should capture that essence of life, which is one of sheer joy in a human body on a perfect planet. And then the other thing that's really important with the tantric ritual is that the sacredness of the ritual, the joy of the ritual, the deep meaning of the ritual should spill over into day-to-day life. So even when one is sitting in one's cubicle at one's place of work, or one is washing the dishes after a meal with family, or one is getting ready in the morning to go about one's day, or one is closing the day at night and getting ready for sleep, all of those moments could potentially be joyous. So ritual is kind of like a concentrated form of the spiritual beauty that underlies all of life. And one hopes that it leaks out, it spills out into the rest of life, so that we can make life itself, the act of living 24 hours a day, something that is meaningful. So ritual then is a reminder of who we truly are and how we should truly live our lives, which is to be joyful. I mean, I'm laughing because obviously it's not so simple as that. You can't just click your fingers and be joyful. And there's value also in sadness and despair and loss. But I guess underlying everything, we should find a respectful meaning, a sense of gratitude for all that life presents. All right, then. So then let us practice a ritual. I'm going to share the screen, and I hope this is going to work. I hope you can see me and the shared screen. So let's see if this is going to work. All right, now I've shared the screen, so I'm assuming you can see that. But can you also see me? Because I can't see me on the screen. So can somebody please put in the chat whether you can see me or not? Because this is really important, because there are some gestures along with this this mantra here. And so I'm going to have to go back to StreamYard. So can somebody please put in the comments whether you can see me? And okay, great. All right. Okay, fine. Now this is what we call on our path, the Ananda Marga path, the bath mantra. In a way, it doesn't do this ritual justice because it's much deeper than just doing something after a shower. I mean, that's why it's called the bath mantra, because we normally do it after bathing. But it can be done at any time. In fact, it should be done at any time. I do it every Monday morning, for example, when the sun is rising. And this is a beautiful time to do it because the sun shines on everyone on the planet, or at least on one side of the planet. But the sun has been shining on everybody on the planet since the beginning of time. So in part, this ritual is to honor the ancestors and all the wise people who have walked on the planet. And all of those people, all of our ancestors and all of the wise people, they walked under the same sun or the same moon. And so then when we engage with the sun, to some extent, we're engaging with those ancestors and wise people. The light, if you will, of the sun has been shared across time with every human being. So this then is the first two lines are related to this. So let's do it this way. I'm going to say the line once, and then I'll say the English and I'll explain it. No, I'll do it this way. I'll say the line once, and then I'll say it a second time, and you can repeat with me the second time. Then I'll explain the meaning. It's Sanskrit. I should say the first two lines, I'm not sure of their origin, but the subsequent lines after the first two are taken from the Bhagavad Gita. Pitri Purushebhyo Namaha. Pitri Purushebhyo Namaha. Salutations to the ancestors. We wouldn't be here today if we didn't have ancestors, if we didn't have parents and grandparents and great-great-grandparents and great-great-grandparents and so on. And we should respect everything that they have done in their past, in their lives, to make our life possible. To some extent, they live in us. I mean, definitely there's a generic inheritance, a genetic inheritance from all of our ancestors. So we honor that with the first line, salutations to the ancestors. Rishi Devebhyo Namaha. Rishi Devebhyo Namaha. Here we pay our reverence to the sages. So the sages means all of the wise people. It could be the spiritual teachers, it could be the scientists, it could be the poets, the philosophers. So many people who have lived in the past make our life so much more enjoyable, whether we're using, say an iPhone, whether we're inspired by a poet, whether we are in awe of scientific discovery. I mean, just on Mars recently, there was the first flight on another planet. I mean, that's so awesome. And all of the spiritual practice we do have their origin with a certain teacher in the past. And so we need to honor those teachers, those wise people. We need to show our gratitude for how they have made our life so much more enjoyable, more meaningful. The third line, Brahmapanam, Brahmapanam. That which is offered is Brahma. Now, Brahma is supreme consciousness. It's that which is everything. So Brahma is both outside the created universe and within the created universe. There's nothing that isn't either inside or outside Brahma. So this then ritual recognizes that everything is sacred because everything is an expression of the one consciousness, starting with that which I am offering. So we offer ourselves into life on a daily basis. We are sharing our energy, we are sharing our intelligence, we are sharing our gifts with the world. And so everything that we share is an expression of Brahma. Like nothing really started with us. We are able to express ourselves because we have the intelligence of Brahma, the intelligence of supreme consciousness, the love, the grace, whatever. Everything has come from a higher, a deeper source. And so we recognize that. This, of course, will help us overcome the development of ego. Oh, I'm so great. I've got so many skills. I'm so powerful. I have so much wealth. This is a downfall, right? Pride comes before a fall. So we shouldn't think that everything originates from us, that we are the center of everything. Rather, we have eternal gratitude for what the universe has given us as gifts of life, which we then share with others. And this is the fourth line here. Brahma Havir, Brahma Havir. So the act of offering is also an expression of supreme consciousness. All of our actions are expressions of the divine, even the ones that we would like to take back. And so every action is an expression of the greater universe working through us. The next line, Brahmagnao, Brahmagnao. So this last one, Agnao, is Agni, which is fire. So traditionally, when this would be chanted, it would talk about, because offerings would be put into a fire. The thought was, way back, that when you made a ritual fire, then you would put an offering into it, and the essence of the offering would rise up towards the subtler spheres of life, if you will. So you were giving the essential wealth back to the Supreme. So here, it's not fire in our modern context, but it's the recipient of all of our actions is also an expression of the Supreme Consciousness. And so let's say you're hugging somebody with love. The love that you're expressing for that person is Supreme Consciousness. The act of hugging is Supreme Consciousness. And the one you are hugging is also Supreme Consciousness. So this then renders the act of hugging extremely sacred and meaningful and deep. And if both people are feeling the same way, then the hug is something absolutely remarkable. Then Brahmanahutam, Brahmanahutam. So I am Brahma. So the agent is also the expression of the Supreme Consciousness. Next line. Brahmeva tena gantavyam, Brahmeva tena gantavyam. And I'm going to take the final line also before we get to the meaning. Brahma kama samadhina, Brahma kama samadhina. So we know that karma is action. So Brahma karma is action done as Supreme Consciousness for Supreme Consciousness. So the idea here is that when I'm treading on the planet, when I'm engaging in my daily life, I'm actually a representative of the universe. I'm a representative of Supreme Consciousness. I'm Brahma, if you will, working through me as a human being. Now, this is a beautiful ideation. Again, it helps us transform our small ego into the cosmic ego. It helps bring so much more power and potency to life when I am the agent of the Supreme. So then what these two lines are saying is, I am doing the work of the universe, and when that work is complete, I will return back to the universe. So I've come on a mission to transform the planet to the greatest possible extent, to use all of my capacities to bring joy and love and beauty and compassion and elevated consciousness to the planet. And when that work is done, okay, I go back to my source, which is infinite consciousness. I mean, just when I'm talking in this way, I don't know, it just, again, it's kind of not exactly how we're feeling when we're grumpy in the morning and we didn't have a good sleep and we have to go about our daily duties. But the thing is, if we can bring this type of ideation into life, it can be absolutely transformational. And we will be much more interesting human beings to be around. All right, so then that's the meaning of this mantra. Now, let's come to the gestures. And this is where you need to see me. So we bring the palms together and we bring the thumb tips to what's called the Agya chakra, the brow chakra, the third eye, if you will. And we say, I guess I'll say it and you can repeat it after me. Pitri Purushe Namaha. Pitri Purushe Namaha. Salutations to the ancestors. If you can close your eyes, and if you can imagine your ancestors behind you, one of the ancestors with her or his hands on your shoulders, and all of the other ancestors behind that one, and feel them inside you, as if there's an energy flow from the beginning of your ancestry all the way through the lineage to you sitting here right now. Let's open the eyes. We'll bring now the hands down to the heart center. Rishi Deve Bhyo Namaha. Rishi Deve Bhyo Namaha. I pay my salutations to the wise people who have lived on the planet. Let's close the eyes again. And just feel the influence of all of those deceased people, some you knew and some you didn't, who have made this life of yours so much more meaningful. Feeling deep gratitude for their contribution to this life of yours. Let's open the eyes, please. Now, Brahmapanam, so we're turning the hands around and we are touching the chest with our fingers. You know what? I'm going to come up a little bit here. So we brought the fingers here. Yeah. Brahmapanam. Brahmapanam. So that which is offered is Brahma, is supreme consciousness. So this is often translated as reverence, but it could be any feeling. Of course, the circumstances will determine what one is offering into the world. But if you could please again close your eyes and just feel, without necessarily naming them or evoking them individually, but just feel all of your gifts, everything the universe has given you, the wealth inside, And let's open the eyes. Then we're going to bring the hands out. Okay. We'll bring the hands out like this. So, Brahmahavir, Brahmahavir. So the action is also an expression of supreme consciousness. Then Brahma, so for Brahma now, we're going to like open up the arms. Okay, let's see. We're going to open up the hands. Yeah, exactly. So Brahmagnau, Brahmagnau. Now, if you would close your eyes and just feel all of those people you've touched, benefited, supported, assisted in life. And perhaps how also other creatures that live on the planet or the planet itself have benefited from your actions. So feel how all the others, animate, inanimate, are also expressions of supreme consciousness. Let's open the eyes. And we're going to bring the hands now back to ourselves. Now, those of you who may have done this before, I've changed the gestures a little bit, just to suit the meaning. So we are at Brahmanahutam, Brahmanahutam. So I am an expression of supreme consciousness. Let's close the eyes. If you can expand your mind out into the universe, just scanning through the universe to be in awe of all of the ways the universe manifests itself. And that you, sitting in this grand universe, are equally an expression of that which manifested the universe. We share a commonality with everything else because we all come from the one source. Let's open our eyes. Now, let me come back a little bit more. I'm probably looking really tiny on your screen. So now we raise the arms. Brahmeva tena gantavyam. Brahmeva tena gantavyam. So we're opening ourselves up to the infinite. It's like we are ready to go back, to merge. And then finally, Brahma Kama Samadhina. Brahma Kama Samadhina. We bring the arms down. And when everything is over, I've offered my wealth into the world. I've played my part in the transformation of the planetary consciousness. I will go back to the source. So there we are. So let's go through everything again. We'll do call and response with the gestures. So let's start with the hands together at the Agya chakra. Pitri Purushe. Actually, before we start, if you can, because we normally do this with light, given that light is so fundamental to life, and often it's done with water. That's why it's done when we shower. Now, there must be a sun or a moon in the sky where you are. So if you could imagine the sun or the moon and its light, and how this light has been shining since the beginning of time, and how light shines through the whole universe. All right. Pitri Purushebhyo Namaha. Pitri Purushebhyo Namaha. Hands down. Rishi Devebhyo Namaha. Rishi Devebhyo Namaha. Brahmapanam. Brahmapanam. Brahmahavir. Brahmahavir. Brahmagno. Brahmagno. Brahmanahutam. Brahmanahutam. Brahmevatena gantavyam. Brahmevatena gantavyam. Brahma kama samadhina. Brahma kama samadhina. All right, I'm going to all right. Let's see, I'm back. So somebody has said the translation seems incorrect. I've actually modified the translation to make it, I guess, clear. And as I mentioned, I modified the gestures a little bit. But I did go to the original source in order to see the meaning. So I did want to also do a little meditation actually today, and I'd like to incorporate that into the meditation. So then let us continue with our spiritual practice. I guess if we're looking at ritual, then the chanting is also a ritual. Let me bring up the Bhavanam Kevalam in case somebody is new. Bhavanam Kevala. 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 Pavanam Kevalam, 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 Pavanam Kevalam. So let's get ready for the meditation. Using the breath to settle inside, open up your mind to the universe, feeling the vastness of its space. Feeling that this universe is an expression of infinite consciousness. And how you are an expression of the same consciousness. The act of meditation is an expression of the same consciousness. The content of the meditation, right now, the breath, is an expression of the same consciousness. As you exhale, feel that the universe, yourself, the meditation practice, the breath is or are dissolving into the one consciousness. Let the exhalation lead the many towards the one. Let the inhalation be infinite openness. Let the exhalation guide the many to the one. Let's meditate in silence. Use your mantra if you have one. Finally, as you still feel the infinite nature of the universe, become aware of your daily life waiting for you. And of how you can bring these two worlds together, the daily world of everyday life and universal consciousness. One way to do that being ritual, to use ritual to pause and to allow the deeper truths to enter daily life. And then when you're ready, please open up your eyes. So there we are. We explored a beautiful ritual in the so-called bath mantra. Does anybody have any questions or comments about that? I know Soraya asked if I could turn off the comments, and I'm not sure how I do that. Is there anything anybody would like to express? All right. In that case, we will close. I wish everybody well for the week. Find these moments in which one can reflect upon the divine, the beauty, and see you next time. Namaskar.